Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope you have gone through the last lectures, and since the last lectures we meant something regarding the important concepts. I guess all the concepts are very much clear. If not clear, you should go back. That's my suggestion. You should go back and revise it back, because unless and until these concepts are very much clear to you, it would be hard and difficult for you to understand the further processes. Fine. Today we'll start with a new segment, and this segment is basically called as the spheres, or basically we can call it as the segments of environment. Now, what does it mean by segments of environment? Is we you people know that we live in an atmosphere, right? That means we live in an system, and this system is basically called as a biosphere. So we have to understand these concepts in our coming lectures. And while understanding these concepts, you have to always keep in mind there's all the thing which right now we are discussing. The early lectures was much more important, I know, but from here now you have to actually take down your notes. Early lectures also, if you have taken it down, it's very good. Reason for this I'm telling you continuously is because in our examination we are being questioned with very minute and very minor questions which we feel that is not important from the exam point of view, but it becomes an important point of view. Reason is because of the mark distribution. Henceforth I'm continuously telling you that you have to take down the notes for it. Okay, so let's start with today's part. And as I've said from the starting only, today we'll study a new segment, and this segment is called as an environment. So where do you live? That is my first question. And the answer you would rather give me is on Earth, right? But if I ask you, give your description or give the description where do you live in detail, then it becomes difficult. Reason is because we are not very much clear about our environment. We are not very much clear about the segments in which we live. And today we are going to start with these segments. So you know that population is increasing day by day, and as the population is increasing, that means it is triggering day by day or increasing day by day. There is a biggest problem which is occurring, that is of the natural resources. And these natural resources are basically which were some time past back present in the city, that is because of the industrialization. Now you can find these resources to be decaying or degrading in not only rural and urban, but at both the places. So urban development and rural development both are creating a hazard for the natural resources. And where do you get these natural resources? These natural resources are nothing else but it is a biosphere. The second important thing why we need to study these segments is because we use energy resources, right? And these energy resources are some kind of renewable resources, and the other are non-renewable resources. So if I'm not wrong, you might be having the idea, at least a basic idea about renewable resources and non-renewable resources. So we have a major part, that is major problem with these segment, that non-renewable resources are quite limited, and when it is limited we are using it continuously. Its property, its amount, its quantity, its quality is getting so much less that there is a biggest problem occurring, and this problem is occurring on conversation. That means we are losing each and every bit of the energy which was there, which has been created years back through the atmospheric condition, through the into the biosphere, by use of these irrigation processes, these natural resources, these industrial processes, these fuel processes. We are completely using it without any service of saving it, and henceforth we have to study these segments. So if you want to keep in mind the basic idea of or remembering the definition of a segment of environment, you have to only keep in mind the two things. like we had discussed in the past lecture also, that we live in environment. We do not live on earth. Keep in mind that whenever there is a question arises in front of you, where do you stay? So where do you live? You live on earth, that is true, but you only do not live on earth. That is a wrong statement. So basically you live in environment. So that is a correct statement. Environment for the reason because, like we had discussed in the last lecture, that we do not live alone, right? So human beings do not only live with human beings. So human beings do not live with other organisms like lion, tiger, or any carnivorous or herbivorous or producers, but rather human beings also live with some of the other kind of living organisms which are abiotic. So we call it as non-living factors. And henceforth we have to make a statement that we live in environment which is a surrounding of combination of biotic and abiotic components. So basically this environment is divided into four major parts. So like you can see in this first slide itself, picture itself, that a biosphere is nothing else but our environment, and this environment is nothing else made up of the four basic elements. So that is hydrosphere, atmosphere, lithosphere, and ecosphere. Now, when we talk something about the ecosphere, it is a very wide concept. Henceforth, what we will do, we will discuss hydrosphere, atmosphere, lithosphere, and in general, to wind up or just not to make much confusion, we will just discuss a basic idea of biosphere, because much does not have been asked about the ecosphere, but we'll still try to control it up and cover it up. So let's move on with the very first concept of our segment, and that is atmosphere. So you can see that I have given a picture over here, and in picture you can see that there is segmentation, or there are layers which are formed. Now there's a question, why to study these layers? Just for the reason that I should be clear, because the question was being asked that where do the shuttle aircrafts fly, and it was very confusing because we feel that we know that shuttle aircraft can fly at a particular height, but what is that region called is a very confusion part. Henceforth you have to look forward at these layers very clearly. So atmosphere, what do you mean by atmosphere? So atmosphere basically is a Greek word, and atmos is made up of two words. Atmosphere is made up of two words. The first word called as atmos, meaning vapors or gaseous product, and speria means a ball or a sphere in short, right? So what you can combinedly call it as that our earth is a combination of gaseous material. It is a ball product which is a complete ball of gaseous material covered up by gaseous material. So atmosphere basically is a covering layer of gaseous material to our planet. Like we had discussed in the last lecture, something called as greenhouse gases, if you remember. Same way, we are going to move these gases into further process and understand what is atmosphere. So, like we had said in the greenhouse gases, there are three major components, and there were some minor components, but they were playing a major role for protecting our Earth. Similarly goes with the atmosphere. That means atmosphere contains the same gases, but some inclusion are there. So greenhouse gases basically are produced artificially. Okay, that is one more important concept. You have to keep in mind that greenhouse gases can be produced artificially. On the other hand, atmosphere has its own natural way of serving with the gases. But what we have done with the use of renewable, non-renewable resources, with the development, with industrialization, with use of resources, we have also created these gases, and these creation is nothing else but called as anthropogenic creation. So atmosphere is basically a globe of gases which is protecting our Earth planet. And why is it important? Because it is not only protecting us, but at the same time it is a layer of separation of different temperatures, different oxygen, different materials of minerals which are also present in atmosphere. So that is one part. How is the atmosphere connected with the earth? So gravity, that is the only part which can control the atmosphere or which can make the atmosphere remain closer to the earth's surface. So gravity is an important part. So earth atmosphere, like any other planet, you can go on and search in the Google which atmosphere are present or what kind of atmospheric condition or what percentage of atmospheric condition is present on different planets. Earth atmosphere basically has a major component of nitrogen. So like we said in the greenhouse gases, the major component for the greenhouse gases was carbon. Similarly, you have to keep in mind that the major component of atmosphere in Earth atmosphere especially is nothing else but nitrogen. So nitrogen consists of 78% of atmospheric gases. Oxygen is 21%, argon is 0.9%, and carbon dioxide is only 0.04%. Still, we are calling that carbon dioxide is the most dangerous part. Reason why is just because carbon dioxide has the property of not getting easily dissolved in the atmospheric other gases. At the same time, carbon dioxide has the property to hold or combine the gases material together, because you might be having an idea about the shell of carbon. So in the chemistry we have gone through the shells, like its electron, proton, neutron, that is the shell part, and carbon dioxide has a very good capacity or holding capacity. Henceforth we call that carbon dioxide, if gets excess in amount, of course there will be less of oxygen, so carbon dioxide will be more, and if carbon dioxide is more, there would be a very greater capacity of capturing the heat energy, which will of course warm up our globe. So that will be discussed in a later part, but what you have to keep in mind right now is atmosphere of earth has a major part of nitrogen. Of course you have to keep also note down also the percentage, because this percentage is frequently asked question. The next part, what is the role of atmosphere? It actually, as I said, it protects the organism. Okay, and when we call protects organism, we literally mean that the atmosphere protects the organism from genetic changes, because the solar radiation, that is the heat energy which we get from the sun, directly enters into the earth surface or directly enters into the atmospheric surface. And if it enters directly, we have much part of solar radiation which is ultra radiation. हम जो सनराइज लेते हैं वो काफ़ी यूजफुल है विटामिन डी के फॉर्म में, एग्रीड, बट उसके साथ में कुछ अल्ट्रा वायलेट रेडिएशंस भी होती है, एंड द वे to control or protect this ultraviolet radiation is done by atmosphere. So atmosphere helps living organism, human beings, animals, creatures, plants, microorganism, etc., to protect from genetic damage. That is the major role of atmosphere. Next one, the basic current composition what we see right now in atmosphere, that means whatever we breathe the oxygen or whatever we feel the atmosphere, whatever the layers which we see in the atmosphere, for example the layers I've shown over here. So these layers are actually not formed in just a year or just few years or like couple of years or maybe 100 years or something like that. It is actually a process which has taken place billions of years back. Okay, so like I said in the past example, I've given you an example of dinosaur, where you can find that there is a quick extinction, removal of dinosaurs from the earth planet. Why did it take place? So there are few conceptions. Few say that meteoroids hit the earth, because of which dinosaurs went away. Few says the earth's atmosphere has changed. So we can just connect with the second consumption or assumption that maybe the earth atmosphere changed, and due to this change, which was actually a biochemical modification, a biochemical reaction, the layers which we see right now in the atmosphere are created, and these layers were not suitable for the dinosaurs, hence there was a complete removal of that species. So the atmosphere which you feel today or which we feel today or on which we survive today is a reaction of biochemical reactions which had started or which took place billions of years ago, and this reaction was taken place in the type of atmospheric planet, which was called as paleo atmosphere. Okay, so you have to keep in mind this part also. We usually called the atmosphere right now what we have as simple atmosphere, but what actually started back years back, billions of years back process was called as paleo atmosphere. Now, this atmosphere has a very number of layers, and these layers have to be studied very in depth. Reason is because each layer has a different composition, different height, different temperature, different pressure. Reason for I'm saying all these things is because of the composition, temperature, pressure, its weathering condition, changing physiology, changing at the same time. It changes depending upon the area. For example, might be in some places the troposphere is you can find the troposphere very close. Okay, on the other part, you can find the troposphere at the different at a higher peak. For example, if you go on the Mount Everest, you'll find that the troposphere is very close. On the same hand, if you go at the very lower part, you'll find, especially the seashore part, you'll find that the troposphere seems to be at a very huge height or greater height. Similarly, according to the region, because you know the earth is not actually a ball, a cricket ball, it is somewhat a spherical in shape. So it is not actually round, it is spherical in shape. And when it is spherical in shape, the rotation depends, changes, and depending on the climate changes. And as the climate changes, the composition, temperature, pressure of these ranges, of these particular spheres also changes respectively. Okay, now what you have to note down is the sequence of spheres or sequence of atmosphere. So at the very lower part, you'll find that is a troposphere. Above troposphere is stratosphere, followed by mesosphere, followed by thermosphere, and followed by exosphere. So the first one is troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, exosphere. So in the diagram, it's showing just of exosphere, but recently, or not exactly recently, but many years back, it has been discovered that there is one more layer and it will be called as ionosphere. So you can't find this ionosphere in this diagram, but still we'll discuss a part that is called as ionosphere. So let's move on with the very first part, and that is called as troposphere. Troposphere is the lowest layer of the earth, as we had seen in the earlier diagram that it is the very first layer of the atmosphere. So from this diagram, we'll now try to understand these layers. So you can find in this diagram a troposphere mentioning over here. And if you look around at this picture very clearly, you'll find that this is a earth surface or globe, and here we have a layer of troposphere, a light blue in color, and at the same time you can find that there are some mountain ranges, as well as there are volcanic eruption, as well as there are jet airways. Okay, that means normal planes which in which we travel, that is jet airways. So that is a layer of troposphere. Now, what is the typicality of troposphere? So, the very first part you have to keep in mind is troposphere is the lowest layer of the Earth atmosphere. It is the actually sphere which controls the weather condition what we feel. That means if the troposphere is disturbed, think about it, excess of heat will be there and you'll feel extreme hot, like what we are going through right now. Or if it is not, it is too thick, at some regions, for example Arctic, you'll feel very cold areas. So henceforth I said that the layers differ according to the region. So if you go at the side of a Kashmir, northern side, you'll feel that it's extreme cold. Reason because troposphere layer is quite thin over there. And on the other hand, if you go for the southern part, you'll find that there is extreme heat at the same time duration in compared to that of the northern part. So troposphere basically is a 75% of atmospheric mass. So what is the composition of troposphere? Troposphere में क्या क्या होता है? It is a 75% of atmospheric mass and 99% of water vapors and aerosols. So that is one more reason troposphere has a very good capacity of controlling the weather, because it has a water vapors in it. Okay. Like I said, that the average height, okay, so basically the troposphere varies in the height. So on the tropics you can find the troposphere of 18 kilometers. So don't feel that I'm talking something about right on the place you are sitting and you can feel 18 kilometers at your height. It is basically the measurement which is taken from the surface of the sea level. So it is basically when you measure such kind of spheres, it is a sea level of measurement. So tropic level you'll have 18 kilometers, latitude you'll have 17 kilometers, and at the polar region it has 6 kilometers. So just now I told you, if you go at the extreme upper part, that is northern side, you'll feel that the tropospheric layer is very close to you. So if you go on a Mount Everest, you'll feel that the troposphere, actually you are in troposphere. Reason is because Mount Everest is present in troposphere. Okay, so that was the question which was asked in the last examination. So we can say that the average, maybe the average height of the troposphere, average, okay, not describing on the basis of the layers actually or the regions, but if you are being asked with the average height of troposphere, you can just answer it as around 13 to 14 kilometers. So troposphere basically has a distribution again. So how distribution? Because troposphere is not a single layer, as we have seen in the very first figure, if you remember. So troposphere has a second layer also, and that second layer or above layer also, and that layer is nothing else but a stratosphere. So there should be some differentiation, or there should be some line of difference which can separate. Actually, these layers, if even though we are talking that there is a line of difference, do not consider that exactly you will find a different layer one by one like a rainbow color. It's not like that. It usually mixes or gradually mixes. It's just an assumption of percentage which we talk about when discuss about the spheres. So troposphere has a border line which separates from the stratosphere, and that sphere is called as a tropopause. Okay, so tropopause is nothing else but it is a border area of stratosphere and troposphere. What is the basic role of troposphere also is that it controls the turbulence. Turbulence means wind which have a great action. Okay, that is called as turbulence action. So whirlpools for example, that means जैसे हम चक्रीवादळ मराठीमध्ये म्हणतो, so that is basically the turbulence action. Okay, so this turbulence action is basically, or turbulent behavior of a wind is actually controlled by troposphere. So not to tell back that troposphere, because it can control, because it has a good amount of airing condition as well as it has a much amount of water vapor, so it can control it easily. The next also important, because troposphere is close to the earth, that means gravity is there, and because of this gravity it can also control this turbulence action. Now this action what we are talking about is about the turbulence or whirlpools, जिसे हम wind, high area winds भी कहते हैं. But it can also control, it actually has a capacity to control day to day action also. That means रेगुलर में जो हम एयर फील करते हैं, या फिर जो मॉइस्चर फील करते हैं, या फिर जो हीट या फिर जो कूलनेस फील करते हैं एयर में, इट्स नथिंग एल्स बट बिकॉज ऑफ द ट्रोपोस्फियर. ओके, सो नॉर्मल डे का टेम्परेचर भी कंट्रोल कौन करता है, या फिर नॉर्मल डे के विंड भी कौन कंट्रोल करता है, तो दैट इज बिकॉज ऑफ द ट्रोपोस्फियर. So troposphere is actually a dry air, completely almost a dry air with some amount of moisture in it. I'm calling it as some amount of moisture because comparatively as compared to earth it is less. So we can say it as some amount of earth atmospheric condition में कम होता है water vapor troposphere. So troposphere में सबसे ज़्यादा आपको क्या मिलेगा? You'll find nitrogen. A very good layer of nitrogen is present. Okay, and as I said you that you have to keep in mind the statistics, so you have to take it down. So nitrogen present in this part is 78.08%, followed by oxygen which is 20.95, which is followed by argon. Argon is very important. Reason is because we know that argon is one of the chemical component which is usually found in the chemistry labs. So you have to actually find out this is your homework. You can consider this is your homework, that you have to find the properties of argon. You have to study the properties of argon, and you have to mention these properties of argon in the comment box. So that's your homework. The next one is carbon dioxide, and as we said, there is some amount of water vapors also. So troposphere has a major role, or it plays a major part in controlling not only the heat energy, the light energy, but also it has a major part in controlling the oxygen for us. That means, now consider if the troposphere is not present in this part of the Earth's surface. Okay, that means close to the Earth's surface. If troposphere is less, what would happen? And the same thing we can explain with two situations. Consider that you are at your land place area. आप आपके घर में हो, and you'll feel that you'll have a good amount of atmospheric oxygen, right? But consider that if you move on to an area like Mount Everest, because we said Mount Everest is in the upper part of the troposphere. So if you are there on the Mount Everest, you can't normally breathe. You need an oxygen cylinders to breathe. Just for the reason because the Mount Everest lies in the upper part of troposphere. मतलब यहाँ पे troposphere भी खत्म होना ही है, वहाँ पे आपको Mount Everest का peak मिलेगा. So there the oxygen content is very less, and henceforth we say the troposphere is one of the major element or major segment of the environment. It is not only the major segment, but it is one of the major segment which is closer to the Earth, because of this troposphere also we can get a rain, because it has a capacity to control the atmosphere winds, जैसे कि हमने पहले भी कहा था. So because of the capacity of controlling the wind, this part helps Earth to get moist. This part helps the Earth to get turbulence. This part helps the Earth to get wind, rain at frequent times. And henceforth, troposphere is one of the closest segment of the Earth. Okay, so we have gone through the first segment of the part, and you have to keep in mind the distance. So if average comes, it is 13 kilometers. If the question comes, which is the next level to troposphere, that is stratosphere. But what separates the troposphere and stratosphere? It is tropopause. So we'll hold over here, and we'll meet in the next lecture with some next spheres also. Till then, study hard.